As a young little badass Brandon, I put countless hours into Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PS2. Should that be my new voice? Hey guys, Brandon here, and welcome to Brandon's Banter. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order came out more than a month ago, and now that I've had a few weeks to spend with the game, I really wanted to share my thoughts. So let's get the frick into it. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is an action-adventure game based in the Star Wars universe. You play as a former Jedi in training named Cal Kestis. Cal went into hiding after the Purge and is now part of the Scrapper Guild on planet Bracca. After so many years of not using the Force, he eventually becomes disconnected from it and forgets a lot of his Jedi training. I don't want to spoil too much of the story, so let's just say some things happen, and you end up being the last hope for restoring the Jedi Order. You're not alone though, you have the help of a former Jedi named Seer, a pilot named Grease, and a droid named BD-1, whose beeps and boops will grow on you quickly. There was a part at the end of the game where freaking one of the enemies had like BD-1 in his clutches, and you had to do a quick time event. And I was panicking because I thought the enemy was just gonna smash him, and I was gonna cry if that happened. I didn't want to spoil it. Gameplay wise, I'd say Fallen Order is pretty similar to Dark Souls and Sekiro. Dodging, blocking, and parrying are all really important mechanics for combat. Also, there are meditation circles that work just like bonfires or shrines in Dark Souls and Sekiro. I put countless hours into Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PS2, and I always loved being able to play as a Jedi. You could only do so much as a Jedi though, and I always wished I could do much more. That's why Fallen Order felt like a childhood fantasy coming to life. The combat system is great and just keeps on getting better as you progress. The overall gameplay is really fun and interesting. The environments and visuals are breathtaking and make you want to keep on exploring, and the story is captivating and almost feels like you're in the middle of a movie. If you've ever wanted to be a full-fledged Jedi Knight, that's exactly how Fallen Order makes you feel with its combat system. I absolutely love the way the combat evolved over the course of the game. As I said earlier, Cal Kestis hasn't been practicing his Jedi skills at all, and you can really feel that in the combat. At first, you're slow, have no mobility, and the only Force move you know just slows down a single target. But as you progress through the story, Cal also grows as a Jedi and remembers all of the training his master taught him. Little by little, you learn new skills, upgrade your lightsaber, and master new Force moves. By the end of the game, I'd be up against a group of 7 or 8 enemies and still take them out with ease. The way the combat evolved with Cal's growth from a Padawan to a Jedi was so well done, and I wish other game developers would take note. You also earn skill points by getting enough experience by defeating enemies or bosses, scanning things for your databank, or investigating Force echoes. You can then upgrade the skills you remember throughout the game with these skill points at any meditation circle. One thing that doesn't really affect any mechanics in combat but is still really cool is the customization of your lightsaber. You can find different saber parts in chests around the planets that you visit. Then at any workbench, you can customize your lightsaber to look exactly how you want. I really love this little feature and instantly changed my saber to green because I always like playing as Luke with his green lightsaber in LEGO Star Wars. Fallen Order isn't all fighting and lightsaber battles. There are many parts of the game that have puzzles or different parkour challenges. I really enjoyed these sections of the game because it was a nice change of pace. For the most part, you get around each planet by climbing, swinging, wall riding, and other various Jedi-like parkour moves, which the game definitely benefited greatly from. If you had to plainly walk from place to place, it would have gotten boring. They used a combination of Force abilities, planet-specific obstacles, and all the different parkour skills to create unique puzzles around each corner, which made the downtime where no combat was happening just as fun. I've always loved Star Wars environments, from movies to games, there really is no exception. The planets that you visit are polished, immersive, and all have their own unique feel. I often found myself straying from the main path just to see what was down a hidden trail or around a different corner. They use different visuals and cinematics to immerse you even further. For instance, giant ships flying in and out of Bracca to show you how small you really are. Then on Kashyyyk, there's a part where you're hitching a ride on a giant bird-like creature. The bird soars really high and you're able to see far into the distance. The view of the giant lush forest was breathtaking and had me fully immersed in the scene. Also, the first time you land on Kashyyyk, the planet is being invaded by the Empire and you have to hijack an AT-AT walker. Climbing up on the legs of the walker with all the chaos happening around me actually gave me an adrenaline rush. I really could ramble on and on about all of the jaw-dropping scenery you encounter on the many planets in Fallen Order, but I'll just say the visuals were insane. The environments weren't the only stunning thing about the visuals though. A ton of the cutscenes flowed amazingly into your gameplay. It wasn't uncommon for me to not realize a cutscene had actually ended and I could play again. I also love that they use classic Star Wars transitions for some of the cutscenes. If I were to rank the story of all the new Star Wars movies, including this game, Rogue One would be on top, and then Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It truly felt like a Star Wars story, especially with a few appearances of some familiar faces.
This is Master Obi-Wan Kenobi.
There were ups and downs, twists and turns, and every cutscene had my undivided attention. I also really enjoyed seeing all of the characters grow throughout the game, especially Cal and Seer, because I feel like they both went through the most struggle and in turn had the most growth.
But that's why we can't give up. We can't let the sacrifice of those closest to us be for nothing.
If you're a Star Wars fan, you will 100% enjoy this entire journey, especially the ending. I really don't have anything bad to say about Fallen Order. If I had to complain about something, it would be the clunkiness of some mechanics. At some points in the game, I would jump for a rope, ledge, or zip line, and my character would just not grab it. It wasn't too much of an issue since it would spawn me right back to where I was before I missed the obstacle. Also, there are quite a few little bugs throughout the game. One time I fell inside of a wall and was just floating there for a bit. The bugs didn't affect the game in any way though, and I hardly think they're worth mentioning. Except for the Wookiees, because they were gross, disgusting. I saw one look and I was just like horrified. They looked like someone jumped into glue and then into like a bat of fur and just started walking around. That's what they look like. They're gross. If Fallen Order came out before the cutoff for the Game Awards, I think it would have been in the running for Game of the Year. The combat was outstanding and evolved throughout the game, the environments they created were breathtaking and immersive, and the story was captivating and fit into the Star Wars lore amazingly. I loved this game and enjoyed every second of it. For this reason, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is getting a solid 5 hammers out of 5 from me, and I highly recommend playing it yourself. If there's a game you want to see me review, hit me up in the comments, and you may see it featured in a future episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
May the Force be with you.
Master, don't leave us!